Oh, wait.
Hold on.
Yeah, he's about to do it.
There.
Harry, you want to do these two? Okay, just drop it.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
This is for a speech class. So. Okay.
At some point throughout your life, you've heard about NASA. You know, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the organization responsible for the first United States satellite in 1958, Explorer 1. Or how about the Hubble telescope? The first telescope based on the other side of the Earth's atmosphere that would allow light to travel to distant objects and bounce back unhindered. The telescope offered the first clear views of the universe beyond our galaxy, according to HowStuffWorks.com. And these are all very great feats, but there's a problem. The very same organization that is responsible for creating the first space shuttle and for putting the space station in space is experiencing some serious financial troubles. You see, NASA is a federal agency, which means that NASA receives an annual federal budget that has to be passed by U.S. Congress. As you can tell here in this graph from KimballSpaceProgram.com, the NASA budget has been unpredictable really since the mid-1960s. Every year the president will set his budget to determine how much he thinks every agency should be allotted. And according to pennyfornasa.com, the National Space Program that has entered a critical stage where falling public budgets and a lack of strategic leadership are taking their toll on NASA's programs in space flight and aeronautics. NASA's budget decrease should concern you. It should concern you a lot. NASA is not only responsible for space shuttles and going to the moon, NASA has created thousands of everyday objects just lying around your house. BusinessInsider.com has listed nearly 1,800 spin-off technologies such as artificial limbs, cell phone cameras, cordless tools, memory foam, and even baby formula that NASA has directly created. Even if you absolutely could not possibly care less about space, surely you care about a few of those. So what can any of us do? It seems like it pretty much completely out of our hands. It actually very much is still in our hands. NASA is funded directly by the United States, meaning in a perfect world, NASA would be more than well off, monetarily speaking. However, according to UniverseToday.com, the Obama administration has announced its new federal budget and is proposing to NASA to cut the 2017 fiscal year budget once again to $19 billion by carving away significant funding for deep space exploration, whereas the overall U.S. federal budget increases to over $4.1 trillion. This funding cut costs NASA a staggering 9% of their funds, putting hundreds of extremely gifted and talented scientists out of their jobs. One would assume that organization has done so much for the country and the planet as a whole would be worthy of receiving more than 0.5% of the federal budget. If you agree, there's a few things we can still do, don't worry. For one, not electing officials that plan on cutting the funding would probably be the easiest. Another way you can help is by donating to charities or nonprofit organizations such as Planetary.com, which is owned by someone that many of you might recognize, Bill Nye the Science Guy. According to PopScience.com, in 1961, President John F. Kennedy decided that NASA would send humans to the moon before the end of the decade. At that time, each U.S. citizen was paying about $20 per year to NASA. In 2015 dollars, the Apollo era budget would have been equivalent to each American paying over $200 a year to the Space Administration. If NASA still had that funding in 2015, that would make a budget of nearly $66 billion per year. The U.S. population, according to Census.gov, is nearly 320 million people in the United States. I actually did the math myself, and if each one of you sitting in front of me donated $10 a year to Planetary.com, NASA's budget would be more than double to $3.2 billion. That is a very real number and can completely change the way we advance technologically. Space is a final frontier, and NASA is the only organization we need to get there. Personally, I am always striving to know more about my surroundings and am just a curious person in general. This means space really interests me. There's literally no way we as humans could possibly fathom what lies in the unknown universe, and one day our planet will no longer be enough for us. One day we will have bled every resource dry. One day we will have plowed over every field and drank in every last drop of water. To quote the great Stephen Hawking himself, we are in danger of destroying ourselves by our greed and stupidity. We cannot remain looking inwards at ourselves on a small, increasingly polluted and overcrowded planet, which he stated in an interview with BBC in 2005. NASA is more than necessary in America today, employing nearly 20,000 individuals, which is only going to increase the more we explore. Which is a good thing, right? More jobs mean more money in our economy. Now, I've presented you the facts, shown you the numbers, told you how you can donate and where to donate to, but it's up to you. You must be the one to decide if spending $10 every year is worth it. I realize many people simply cannot afford to donate. What I'm asking is so small compared to the extravagant rewards that we as humans will reap for centuries to come. We can be a part of this generation. We can be a part of the generation that puts people on the moon again, which according to space.com we haven't been able to afford to do in 40 years. This is our chance to make a change. I am no longer reminiscing on the successes of past missions, such as the Explorer 1 or the Hubble telescope. I'm concerned with the future. I'm concerned that more people aren't concerned at all. I'm concerned even that after this speech you'll continue on about your day, changing nothing and not speaking up the next time someone says, let's cut NASA's budget, I really don't care about space anyways.